All right. Good morning. Happy Monday. Well, it's Monday for me. It might not be Monday for you when you're watching this. But anyways, okay. So this is notes 1-1 for algebra A2. So our first review topic that we're going to look at is like terms and what like terms are. So you might remember like terms need to have, so they must have the same variables and exponents. So for example here, 2x and negative 5x are like terms because they both have the same variable and they both have an exponent of 1, which isn't written. Another example could be 2xy and 1/2 yx. Now notice the variables aren't in the same order, which you might think would cause a problem. But because multiplication can go both ways, you can do, 2 times 5 is the same thing as 5 times 2. So y times x is the same thing as y, or x times y. So those two things are like terms. They're the same variables with the same exponents. Non-examples would be something like 4x and 5x squared. Notice how they do not have the same exponent there. Another example would be 4x and negative 7xy. While they both have an x, the negative 7 piece has a y and the 4 doesn't, so that doesn't work. What about 4x squared y? I don't know why I keep using 4 as the first one. Habit, I guess, now. And 9y squared x. So while you might think these would be like terms, they're actually not, because in this first piece, you might notice that the exponent is on the x, where over here in this one, it's attached to the y, not the x. So that makes them unlike terms. Okay, let's take a look at some examples. Example 1 is asking us to simplify or combine like terms. So I'm looking for the ones that are the same variables and the same exponents. So I'm seeing here I have a negative 7 as just a number, a constant, and I'm going to go with the positive 18. So 18 minus 7, or negative 7 plus 18, is 11. All right, I have 15x squared y. So x squared y. This negative 10 piece also has an x squared y. Even though they're in different orders, they still work because the x's are squared and the y's have an exponent of 1. So 15 minus 10 is going to be a positive 5. And when you write it, you can write this either way. You can write it as x squared y or yx squared. Looking at the positive 3x squared, there is nothing that goes along with that. There's no other x squared term, so that just comes down. So plus 3x squared. And then we have the negative 3y and the positive 2y, which leaves us with the negative 1y, or just negative y. So there we go. That's simplified because there's no other like terms that we can combine. Oops. Okay, let's take a look at example 2. A square has a perimeter of 24x. What is the length of one side? So whenever we talk about shapes of any sorts, you definitely want to start off by drawing yourself a picture. And what do we know about squares? Well, I know that squares have 4 equal sides. Then they bring up this fancy perimeter word. Well, you might remember that perimeter, and if not, that's why we're talking about it. Perimeter is the sum of all sides. And when we say sum, we mean addition. So if I added all those sides together and got 24x, and they're all the same, I can take that perimeter and divide it by the number of sides, which in this case is 4. So 24x divided by 4, well, 24 divided by 4 is 6x. So that means each side is 6x. Okay. Yes. Okay. So what is the area of the square? Don't forget they ask us a second question there. There's that little question right there. What is the area of the square? So area, if you don't remember the formula, we can always look it up, is base times height, which in this case with a square, the base is the same as the height. Each of those sides is 6x. So my area is equal to 6x times 6x. Area is equal to 6 times 6, 36, x squared. Boom. And we have one last example to finish this off. And again, it's asking us to simplify, but this time we have a fraction bar, so a little bit different. All right, so first off, we can't simplify from, top to bottom. We have to stay, only on the numerator and then only on the denominator. Looking at the denominator, there's nothing really to simplify down there. 3x and 4 are not like terms. So I know my numerator, or my denominator, is going to stay that. But now let's look at the top. So we have 12x and negative 21x. So that would be 12 minus 21, which could give you negative 9x. And then that 7 minus 19 is also, those are like terms, they're both numbers without variables, they're both constants, is that vocab word that we're looking for. And 7 minus 19 is a negative 12. So here, you might be thinking that you can simplify that 9 and that 3x and that 12 and that 4. Well, fact of the matter is that you actually can't do that. You can't do that because of this addition and this minus sign. That minus sign, you can't break those pieces up. That addition sign, you can't break them up. It's like, they're married and they can't, the minus sign, maybe they're unhappily married, and the plus sign, maybe they're happily married, but no matter what, you still can't break them up. So you can't simplify anymore after this. So this is where you stop. So stop here. Just simplify top, then bottom. Okay, and that's it. First lesson of notes. Boom, done. Not too bad, I don't think, huh? And so then you've got some practice problems or homework problems that I would like you to try in the meantime. Awesome sauce. Good work.